What is the best work from home business? Well, folks, that's going to be a tough one to answer because you can do a lot of business from home. So welcome back. In this episode, I'll be discussing what is the best work from home business. Well, there's a lot of business. You could be everything from an affiliate marketer to a recruiter for a company. There's lots of things. Well, I can assure you, if you're going to do business at home, the first thing you're going to hear is you're going to hear a lot of opinions. Okay, they're going to start with your family and they're going to go to your relatives. Everybody's going to discourage you from having a home business. I'm not going to discourage you because I have a home business and I've had one for 30 years. Now, home business gets advice from everybody. You don't want advice from everybody because how good is their advice? I'm not so sure it's even advice at all. It's really, in many cases, discouraging words to keep you from going into business for yourself. But if you do want to get advice, who do you want to get it from? Get it from someone that's experienced and get it from people that are successful. All right, so who's successful? Well, a lot of other businessmen are successful, and you know how you can tell? Because they're staying in business. If they weren't doing a good job in business, guess what? They would be bankrupt. So if you want to be effective and work at home and have your own business, make sure you know who you're taking advice from. Everybody wants to give you advice. I'm not so sure that they all have a positive motive. I think a lot of them just want to discourage you, and a lot of them are afraid that they're going to encourage you and you'll fail and you'll blame them. But the point is, if you want to have a business, don't get into controversies with your relatives and your family. Go to people that are in business and talk to them. So that's starter number one. All right, now what is the best business? I could name off business after business after business, and I'm not so sure that that's going to be the best way for you to do this. You need to look and see what it is that you're good at, first of all. So what do you do that you do well? Now, if you're going to be in business and be successful, number one, you have to solve somebody's problem. If you don't solve somebody's problem, it's not going to be a business. For example, I have a home business and I solve the problem for people that want to learn about tax lien certificates and tax deeds in this subset of real estate. So I'm actually promoting my business when I'm actually doing these videos. And I promote it and let people know that I do it. Well, that's one of the parts of business that people don't know enough about. They don't promote their business enough. All right, so there's dozens of businesses you can do at home. There's lots of people that want to help you do those businesses. So you need to start researching and find out what you do best and what problems you can solve. No business will survive unless it's solving a problem for someone else. So are you a writer? Would you like to write books? Well, you could do that from home. Do you have other skills that you can have other people help with? Could you edit videos? Or could you call people on the telephone and make appointments? Could you do any number of things? What if you want to be an affiliate marketer? You could do so many businesses from home. Now, I don't know if you're going to have a barbershop or you're going to be a baker. I don't know if you're going to do a lot of that from home. But the point is, you can do any business you want practically from home, but give it some thought before you get into it. You want to get into something that's going to be profitable. Now, I got into a business that I discovered 30 years ago, and I got in it because I saw the lucrative profits that were in it. But you could stay home and you could write about things. You could have a blog, for example. Maybe you could create videotapes for people. Maybe you could edit videotapes. There's all kinds of jobs you could do. Maybe you could help teachers. Maybe you could sit at home and be a transcriptionist for a doctor who has to record all the work he did every day. So there's tons of business you can do, but I'm going to suggest get a business that you can make significant amount of money. Because if you can work at home and you can be left alone working at home and you don't have a lot of controversy with families in your sanctuary all the time, well, you're going to be able to make a lot of money working at home and have a lot less disturbances. Okay, now I don't know if you want to teach yoga like some of those girls do on television. They can do that from their garage or they can do that from a separate bedroom. Maybe you want to teach health. There's so many businesses to do from home. I could never even touch naming all of them. So to figure out what you want to do, what do you do best? Okay, that might be help. What do you want to do? Do you want to teach people? Are you willing to do things for other businesses? Are you willing to travel? Do you want to stay home? What do you want to do? So you can help people, but you have to say, I'm in the business of helping people. So if you can't help people, I'm going to tell you your business is probably not going to survive. All right, the internet has opened up so many markets and so many people that now you're going to have to get in the business of actually interviewing other internet people to help you. So I don't know that everybody on the internet is highly qualified. Now, I have people that work for me in an office, and what they do is they interview these people, and then they say, all right, let's try you out. They test everybody. They don't give them a permanent job in a retirement program. They say, let's test and see what you can do. So now you're going to have to be the boss, and you're going to have to be responsible for a lot of things that you weren't responsible for before. However, you also will be the one that will be collecting all the money in this. All right, so there's new jobs opening up every day, new things for you to do. The internet is like a moving parade. It's going by you as fast as it goes. I mean, it just never slows down. So something is going to be new every single day and every single week, all right? Now, the people that build home businesses are unique in that they can work alone. All right. But working alone doesn't mean you're out of the world. You still have to stay in touch, because if you're not staying in touch with people, how are you going to generate new business? You need to do that. All right. So as I say, there's too many for me to list. All right. What about social media? I should mention that. Think of all the things that are going on in social media. Now, I don't know how to measure it to tell you that, but if you can figure out ways to measure the social media, is it working for someone? Well, then you might want to be the person that could be always helping people with social media. Every time I think of something, and I think to myself, could that be done from home? So you could do the same thing. But I would suggest you think about businesses where you're going to be able to make money, and I mean significant amounts of money. All right, so what have I done? Well, to give you an example, I found a business 30 years ago, that I could do from home that was very lucrative and a lot of people didn't know about. Now, when I talk about lucrative, let's do a comparison. So let's say you are a real estate person and you wanted to just do your business from home. Well, you certainly could do that. So are you going to sell $50,000 properties and get a 6% commission, or are you going to sell $500,000 properties and get a 6% commission? Wow. That commission, that payment is going to be a lot different on those two different properties. And that's my point. You want to get into a business that's going to be lucrative. So what am I going to choose? Well, I'm going to choose, it might take me a little while to get going, but if I get it going, I could sell $500,000 properties. Well, my commission's much higher. So if I'm going to work from home, I'm not working from home just because I want to say I want to be home. I want to have less work. I want to have more free time, and I also want to have a lot more money. So my point is, there's not going to be any perfect home business. All right, so let's not forget, all those businesses are going to need help. You're going to have to do some interviewing to do that. So as I said, 30 years ago, I discovered this business. What was it? It was tax defaulted properties, which is nothing more than a subset to the traditional real estate market. So it's not anything unusual. It's about homes where the government sells the homes that they confiscated, and they sell them for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar. And the people get big discounts when they buy them because the government only wants to put the property back on the market because someone else defaulted on their tax. Now, some of them are rental units, some of them are commercial properties, but you're getting the idea. But the business has been around for 200 years and people don't know about it. But if I can run that business from my home, it's perfect for me. And then I start to study that, and I can buy and I can sell into that market. Well, when I started buying into the market and learning about it, I found out there was 2 million properties nationwide. 2 million properties available. Think about that. So there's going to be plenty of business. All right, these are tax defaulted properties. Sometimes the government can't even sell them. They can't even give them away. So the point is, there's going to be plenty for everybody, and you can do the same thing. So what's really going on? They're just selling properties. They want to get them back into the market, so why couldn't you be the person that does that? So that was a business I figured out. Now, why on earth would the government be even selling tax defaulted property? Because the taxes are what pay all the services that you're used to. For example, the police department has to be paid. Fire department has to be paid. The sheriff's department. The hospital needs some money. You're getting the idea. What about school teachers? They have to be paid. So the county has a problem if there's a defaulted property. Well, I would be glad to buy that property for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar and then mark it up to 60 cents on the dollar and resell it. All right, so you're getting the idea. Pretty simple business I'm doing from home. Yes. Do I have to maintain contacts with people all over the United States and all over the world? Yes, a little bit differently. All right, so what's the best work from home business? I can't name one, but I know if you're on the internet and you're on YouTube, you're being exposed to businesses every day. find one that's lucrative and then start working on it. I found one that was so lucrative I could buy for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar. There's lots of videos in this channel you can watch on that same subject. My name is Ted Thomas. I have a free gift for you. It's right below me.